Welcome back to the shipyard. Today, we're taking a look at the IKS Chitang. This is a prize ship from Dominion War OP2, one of the very first prize ships. And if you can't get a hold of this, or it's super expensive, I completely understand. This review is intended to tell you, is it worth it? You be the judge after watching this. So the Chitang herself, Burrell class, 22 points, 4133. It's your Burrell. 2 weapon slots and then crew tech. And that's all well and good. Is it a selling feature to get 2 weapons? No. Is it nice to get a tech on the named ship? Yeah, sure, fine. That's all well and good. PSF carrier. That's fine. Named ability here. If you initiate an attack while cloaked, it's reasonable. You may choose any number of your attack dice and reroll them once. Okay, cool. So you get a target lock while cloaked, except you don't have to declare what ship you want to attack ahead of time. That's handy. It's a reasonable named ability. This ship is good for Brels. How much you want it depends on how you feel about Brels. This doesn't do much to change my feeling on Brels. It just exists. It's a great Brel, but it's not anything special. It doesn't make it any more durable. It just is. Generic Brel, of course, loses a shield. This one loses a tech slot, so you go crew double weapon. Not where I'm at. Maneuver dial's great. 2 and 3 turns are white. 90 forward, 90 rear arc. If you're doing anything with torpedoes, that's great. Do you really want torpedoes? I don't, but, new rule set coming out eventually, who knows. As for captains, just one, it is a prize pack. Martok 9, with talent slot 6 points, and action ability where you get some extra dice and you get a little quality, so you're kind of giving everyone Captain Carr's ability to most of the effect, which is cool. With Skill Wharf in the game, taking this Martok up to 12 is nice. The problem is you're spending an action, and because you're spending an action, you're not getting anything else out of it. You're not getting any quality on your ship, unless, of course, you're running Martok on, like, the Chitang. But even then, you're not going to have persistent quality, and that's tough. You could run this Martok on a pure support ship, put it on, like, a Romulan science vessel. That would be okay, though there is no honor in that. Ultimately, that's going to be your call. I still prefer Martok 8, the free action passing Martok, but this Martok is not terrible. Our crew is Sinon, or Sign-On, 5 points to get a 3 sensor echo. That's nice, but way too expensive. If we were talking about bank echoes, and not a 3, just a bank 1-2, I'd pay 5 points, but just to get a 3 in there, I mean, I love flexibility, but with how rare I sensor echo, it's not worth the points to me. I can never justify Sinon. Our talent is Defense Condition 1. I really like this one. Non-unique, 5 points. 5 points is expensive for an action discard, but it's battle stations for you and all of your friendly ships. Now, granted, this was probably better before Admiral Gowron came out, but if you don't want to go that route, or you can't go that route because you don't have a Klingon captain on a Klingon ship, then Defense Condition 1 is not a bad option. There's definitely some utility here, and as long as you can make it work, I have seen some crazy things get pulled off with this. Giving a battle station to 3 heavy hitters, like a bioship, a scimitar, and a Vorcha, that does a lot of scary things, especially if you're adding dice. Yeah, I have nightmares of that. Our tech is secondary shield emitters. It's not very good. Not good at all, in fact. Action disable to repair a shield, and then roll 1 less attack die for your troubles. Just not worth it. Repairing shields is fine, but bad. And then the weapon. This is the card that gets all the love. It was on my top 10 weapons. It's Barrage of Fire. 5 points, you combine 2 attacks, you start with a base of 4, you add in another ship's attack. So you're looking at 10 dice if you combine with a 6 attack. Maybe you get 2 force, so you're at 8. And that's all well and good. You can, of course, add dice to Barrage of Fire from your primary ship. You can't add more dice from your secondary ship. It's just their printed primary weapon value. And that's fine. There's stipulations here. I'll let you read the card to understand all of that. Barrage of Fire, to me, is a cool card. A necessary idea in the game to have swarm fleets work. But it doesn't go far enough. It doesn't pack enough of a punch these days. Back when it first came out, it was like, oh, wow, yeah, you can throw 10 dice. I can't do anything about that. Now, yeah, you can stop that. You can slow it down. There's so many more things you can do to weather the storm. But it's a card that's just been surpassed a bit. Is Barrage of Fire still scary? Yeah, it is. But it's not the be-all, end-all. I certainly don't see a need to get multiples of it. 1, yeah, sure, I don't play around with it, but not a ton. Okay, so overall, we've got a small pack, 6 new cards. I can't say unique cards because there's 3 unique cards, the Chitang, Martok, and Sinon. But 6 different cards of worth. This is a pack where I feel like 5 of those are actually playable. Basically everything except secondary shield emitters is potentially playable. Sinon, probably the least playable of those 5 playable cards. And of course the Chitang all depends on how you view Burrells. And even Martok is just pricey. So really, when I boil it down, this pack comes down to 2 cards. Defense Condition 1 and Barrage of Fire. And I like those cards. They're cool utility cards. But I can do other things that replicate what those cards do for about the same price. Defense Condition 1 can be replicated by running Gowron and then like Yellow Alert or Invaluable Advice. 2 different ships. Granted, that's not all ships, but it's a couple. Barrage of Fire does not have a true equal, but I'll run Nanclis, and I've made a ship super vulnerable anyways. Same points, and now instead of needing a whole bunch of conditions, I've just got a ship vulnerable. That's not to poo-poo anything in this pack. That's just trying to give you alternatives to a very expensive pack. So while I can't tell you to buy it or not, ultimately only you can make a choice on a prize pack whether it's worth the money. I will say that everything that's here can be done either in a different way or almost as good with other things that exist in the game. And when you have that, you just have to build creatively. And maybe that means you don't have every single option in the game. And maybe that hurts a completionist mentality. But at some point, I think you have to be okay with that. But the Chitang pack as a whole, if you do decide to buy it, I think you will be happy. And if you have it, I think you are happy. So, on that weird, confusing, non-committal, wishy-washy note, thank you guys for watching. And until next time, we'll see you around the shipyard. Take care.